Welcome to the Explainer. Let's just dive right into it today, because we're doing something a little bit different. We are turning this into an interactive debate simulator. That's right, you are going to play detective, and your mission is to spot bad arguments hiding in plain sight. We're talking about the logic mistake, and why confidence alone, no matter how good it sounds, simply isn't enough to make an argument true.
Picture this. You're in a round and someone stands up, looks you dead in the eye, and says with absolute, unwavering certainty, "My friend used flashcards and got better grades, so flashcards help everyone." Hear that delivery? That sounds incredibly convincing at first, doesn't it? It's got swagger. It's got a real-world example. It pulls you right into the illusion that they've just made an airtight point.
But hold on a second. Let's pull the rug out here and actually ask, is the reasoning strong? Does that incredibly confident delivery equal a proven factual argument? Well, the short answer is definitely not always.
Section 1. The logic mistake illusion.
So what exactly is the trap here? Well, a logic mistake happens when an argument sounds strong, but the reasoning doesn't actually prove the claim. The absolutely crucial thing to remember is that there is a fatal gap, a total disconnect between the claim someone is making and the actual proof they are bringing to the table.
It really boils down to comparing confidence against strong logic. The idea your opponent presents might sound incredibly confident, right? But confidence is absolutely not the same thing as logic. Strong debaters have to learn how to actively separate the tone of voice from the structural reasoning. You have to train your brain to spot these mistakes quickly, almost instinctively.
Section 2. Why logic mistakes matter.
Look, spotting these errors isn't just some boring academic exercise. It's practically a superpower. In debate, judges do not just listen for hot takes or opinions. They are specifically listening for reasoning. If an argument has a logic mistake, it becomes fundamentally weaker, even if the opponent sounded like $1,000,000 delivering it. Spotting these flaws gives you 3 direct advantages. It allows you to respond clearly, it helps you ask way better questions, and ultimately, it's how you win comparisons against your opponent's points.
Section 3. Example: phones in school.
All right, let's test this out on a training dummy. We'll use a super relatable scenario. Should smartphones be allowed in the classroom? Imagine hearing this argument, delivered with total certainty. My cousin used a phone in class and still got good grades, so phones are not distracting. Okay, detective, look really closely at that. What's the hidden trap there? Boom, here's the fatal flaw. Did you catch it? This example only talks about one single student. One little anecdote about a cousin does not magically prove that phones are helpful or even harmless for literally everyone else in the entire school. Taking one highly specific instance and pasting it as a universal rule? Yeah, that is a textbook logic mistake.
Section 4. A strong debater's toolkit.
So, how do we catch these consistently on the fly? I'm going to hand you the exact investigative tools you need. Strong debaters listen super carefully to their opponents, and they're constantly running those arguments through a mental checklist of 3 questions. First, does this example actually prove the claim? Second, are there other possibilities out there? And third, is the reasoning actually complete? Running any incoming argument through these 3 filters helps you instantly reveal those hidden logic mistakes.
Section 5. Mini challenge and quiz time.
All right, time to jump back into the simulator and put your new critical listening skills to the test. Which of these 2 arguments sounds structurally stronger to you? Option 1, my friend stayed up late and still did well on a test, so sleep is not important. Or option 2, most students need enough sleep to stay focused and healthy. Take a second, think about it, and lock in your answer. Which one is using better reasoning?
If you guessed option 2, you totally nailed it. Option 2 uses way stronger, more complete reasoning by looking at what most students actually need for focus and health. Option 1, well, that relies on a single, isolated exception, just one friend staying up late, to make this massive, completely unproven claim that sleep just entirely isn't important.
Let's keep this momentum rolling with a quick 2-question quiz to lock everything in. Question 1. A logic mistake happens when A. Reasoning is weak, B. Speaking is slow, or C. Arguments are long.
The answer is A. Reasoning is weak. Remember, an opponent can speak incredibly fast or present a super short argument, but the logic mistake occurs strictly in the structural weakness of the reasoning itself, completely regardless of how it's delivered to the room.
Okay, here is question 2. Spotting logic mistakes helps you A. Ignore arguments, B. Strengthen responses, or C. Change topics. Think back to those competitive advantages we just discussed.
And the answer is B, strengthen responses. For sure. We don't spot logic mistakes just so we can ignore the opponent or abruptly try to change the subject. We spot them so we can build incredibly powerful, targeted responses that win the whole comparison for the judge.
So, let's wrap this up. Your main takeaway today is knowing exactly how to recognize those logic mistakes in the wild. You've seen firsthand that a confident delivery is a total illusion if the reasoning doesn't actually bridge the gap to the claim. Plus, you now have your 3-question toolkit to dismantle bad examples whenever you hear them.
But look, spotting flawed logic, that's really just day one stuff. I want to leave you with a rather provocative question to chew on. What happens when you attack the person instead of the argument? That right there is one of the absolute most common mistakes in debate, and we are going to unpack exactly why it backfires spectacularly in our next explainer. Until then, keep listening closely and keep looking for the logic.